Hey, it's Melissa from Kiwibanana, and today I want to talk to you about Sunfed Meats. And Sunfed Meats is a company based in New Zealand that is making meat from plants. And the CEO, Sharma, is probably one of the first females to be a CEO and to be in this industry, as we may have seen other companies around the world doing things like this. They have predominantly been male, so it's really good to see some diversity in the gender coming through. And so the first one that they've brought out is a chicken-like meat, and that is made from yellow peas. It's vegan, of course. It's I think one of their lines, or maybe both, soy-free and gluten-free, which is really good for those that have those sort of allergies. Of course, it's going to be dairy-free, egg-free, any other sort of animal products that people may be allergic to. That is not going to be in those meats either. It is, from what I've heard, quite it's got a yellow sort of colour to it. But Sharma has said that she doesn't want to add any sort of unnecessary sort of additives and colorings to it to make it white. So I still think that's a good thing. I guess you may have a different opinion, and you're more than welcome to talk about that below in the comment section. It's only available in the North Island of New Zealand at this point in time. I live in the South Island, so I haven't tried it, and I'm unsure whether I will get to try it before I leave for my travels. So if I do, I will let you know, obviously. And if not, well, I'm sure I can come back, or maybe I will find it in the supermarkets around the world in years to come. So fingers crossed. Sharma also said that the Sunfed Meats chicken is it has more protein, more zinc, and more iron than the flesh of actual chickens. So I guess for some people that are worried about certain nutrients, certain micro and macronutrients, but they don't necessarily eat a plant-based diet, or they use it kind of as an excuse to not try eating more plant-based foods, then I guess that is just another good thing to add to the reasons of convincing people that this could be another good step forward. I did notice when the media was talking about this, they emphasized quite a bit about obviously going to more plant-based foods is better for the environment, and of course much better for animals, farmed animals in particular, but also wildlife animals, although the media doesn't really mention that. So that's good. And I guess there was a little bit of talk about how they thought it would be healthier too, which is also another added bonus. And it's the only sort of plant-based meat company doing something like this in the whole of the southern hemisphere that I am aware of at this point in time. So it will be good to obviously get some more competition happening in the market. So maybe there's more product variation for people to buy, and it could bring down prices. However, I have been told that the Sunfed Meats chicken is possibly actually cheaper than the flesh of a chicken. So that could be really good for helping those that are tight in the budget, or especially those of the lower income bracket. So that's really good, because what's the point in trying to make these plant-based alternatives sometimes? Well, obviously you can cater towards different types of the income brackets, but we still need to have these options available for people at lower income. Obviously rice, beans, potatoes, bananas are really cheap foods for you to be eating if you're at that lower income bracket, or you just don't want to have to spend a lot of money on food. But I guess also those people will be wanting some other options too for treats, or if they want to eat it regularly. And they also talked about that they're going to do other plant-based meats. They talked about obviously replacing the flesh of a cow, as we know, with beef, into a plant-based beef. They also talked about the flesh of pigs and obviously what we know that is pork and changing that into a plant-based pork. And they also talked about obviously the animals in the ocean and obviously not using their flesh, but making fish from plants as well. So I am pretty excited to see this happening right here in New Zealand. And New Zealand has, if you don't know, only about 4 million people. So it's really, and we're kind of, if you ever look at a map, we're kind of tucked right down in the corner. Makes it really hard geographically for us to obtain a lot of things, especially if they are produced overseas. It kind of adds extra costs to us, and obviously it's not that great for the environment bringing them all the way over. At the moment, the peas are sourced from Canada, but there is obviously a hope that they will maybe start growing them in New Zealand. It's really good for certain soils and bringing back some nutrients into our soil. So it would be really good, obviously, to get some sort of rotation of that happening in our land that is obviously already farmed. So that is basically it. I'm going to leave obviously the information about their website. I'll leave a link to a video that I've seen as well, and I'll leave their Facebook page link down there. So if you want to go check that out, that's great. I'm not sponsored by these people and I haven't even tried it myself, but just from what I've heard from the New Zealand vegan Facebook groups and people who obviously live in the North Island or visited and have tried this, they have talked quite highly about it, and they've had a few other you'll watch it, and if you watch the clip that I share, you'll see them actually interviewing the public and getting them to try it, and a lot of the response was, I can't believe that this is not chicken. So that is really good, and yeah, fingers crossed that something like this will start traveling around the world and going to other countries. Or at least the South Island would be great. And let me know if you have heard of any sort of startup companies doing things like this, if you are thinking of doing anything like this, and leave the information in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you've done something that makes you happy today. See ya.